Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Northern League podcast. We're back online today, me and Leo again. We're going to be discussing Division 1 and 2. A lot of action, but not much has really changed at the top and bottom of the tables, have they, Leo?
No, it's all quite similar to be fair. Well, I know one of my predictions is already down the bin, as we were already discussing last episode. But yeah, nothing big has changed. So that's why we kind of stick to the format of an episode every 2 weeks. But still looking forward to get into it. There's obviously been a big topic with Whickham that I'll probably get into straight away, which is quite serious. So yeah, should we just get into that?
Yeah. Let's start with the Division 1 news, and obviously that's the biggest
Mhm.
part, if you can explain that a little bit.
So yeah, if everyone, well, most people, if you're watching this podcast, you
Yeah,
definitely
you
should know.
definitely know what's going on.
But yeah, so Wickham put a statement up on the 26th, so
Literally,
yesterday.
literally yesterday,
Yeah,
yeah.
literally yesterday, 2:30. Um, so they just put an update up to supporters, basically saying they're apologising for what's gone on, but they were just focusing on immediate priority of working behind the scenes to ensure the club can fulfil its upcoming fixtures and put in place stuff for the first team. But because of the unfortunately lower anticipated commercial and sponsorship income, alongside reductions in other sources of revenue, meant that the playing budget basically was slashed in half. Um, and unfortunately, I had to put the future of the club uh, at first to make sure. Obviously, they didn't go under, but
hmm
uh, due to that, basically the joint managers David Palmer, Dan Crooks and Coach Dan Craig's, sorry, all resigned from their positions, and then a majority of the first team squad also they also informed the club they wanted to pursue opportunities elsewhere, which is a big hit for the club. Firstly, it was kind of come out of nowhere, didn't it, Charlie? To be honest, Wickham had started the season quite well, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was just quite shocking, quite a big shock news, and but also what's it now like? Well, basically, the first team now is the reserve team, but I think first and foremost, we're just happy Wickham has still been able to function, really.
Yeah, I assume it's just going to be the like reserve setup. I know they've got Andy Kingston who's going to be like taking over for the next few games, who
Mhm.
like knows the club well as well. But yeah, they've had a very good strong start, especially for where they've been in previous seasons. Recently, they've always been in sort of a relegation scrap, and like they're like top seven for like large parts of like the first few games of the season. So yeah, it did sort of come out of nowhere the way the budget's seemingly sort of not sustainable, especially after only like what 7 league games, something like that.
Yeah,
It is came a little bit out of nowhere, but don't know. It's just a disappointing situation on both ends, really. Obviously, not being able to keep the budget means the players that have came expecting stuff aren't really gonna want to stay. But then I suppose you could expect a bit of loyalty there as well. If I think there's like a 1 month notice, they could have maybe played a few games
yeah.
while the situation would be sorted. So I don't know. It's just a disappointing
Well, yeah.
situation all
Well,
around.
well, it seems they all just jumped ship straight away, didn't they? And after what the management team came in back end of last season, did well towards the end, and looked like they carried it on from the start of this season. But it just seems strange that the club would put an announcement like that. I know it's only a couple of games in, but surely that'd be done in the pre-season. So something must have like drastically changed
hmm
budget wise, and or obviously they stated it did for commercially and revenue wise. So yeah, just a bit strange. And yeah, you probably thought a little bit of loyalty, but just non-league. That's non-league football for you. But
Yeah.
at least, well, I know they couldn't play against Blythe Town.
Yeah,
I think there's a couple
just
of other
players
fixtures
weren't
they couldn't do.
available.
Yeah, players weren't available. I think they couldn't register the reserve players in time as well. But
hmm
fortunately, they have registered their players in time for tomorrow's game against Easington, which is not the easiest of games as well. With Easington very high up in the table,
Yeah,
but just thankful they've been able to fulfil that fixture, and hopefully for everyone uh, surrounded by Wickham or associated with Wickham, I should say, is happy, and they can kind of rest and relax a little bit after what has probably been a big 48 hours for the football
yeah,
club.
yeah. Very stressful. I mean, you've obviously got to put the club first. I can see both sides of it. To be fair, I can see why the players and management were obviously annoyed because they'll have like their own goals and like ambitions for where they want to take the club this season, and they probably can't do that with a lower budget. But then
Hmm.
I suppose just like from a loyalty side as a player, you don't really want to just sort of jump ship and leave a team completely like wrecked. I know obviously like maybe they've been promised things which obviously hasn't happened now, but I don't know. Like I say, I can see both sides, but at least they're able to play the next game, and hopefully
Mhm,
they can sort of grow as the next few games go on.
mhm. Right then, well, we're kind of, because nothing major's happened, we're going to just kind of talk through the clubs again,
Hmm.
in like league, well, similar to league order, but
Yeah, just like the playoffs sort of relegation where it's at
yeah.
right now.
So we'll carry on. Nothing's much changed with Bishops, Charlie. They just
No.
keep winning, mate. They just keep winning and scoring a load of goals.
Mm. 5 on the bounce for them now, isn't it? Five
Oh,
wins.
mate. Yeah, Mr. Moody,
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah,
Moody,
yeah.
friend
Friend
of
of
the
the pod,
show.
and he's been bagging, hasn't he? I don't know how many he's got exactly, but every time I check, he's on the score sheet.
I think he's
So
got. I want to say he's got 6. He's not top goal scorer in the league though, but I think he's like second or third.
that's not bad. That's not bad at
No,
all.
no.
Uh,
And then Mr. Martin's always chipping in. But then they
yeah.
don't. But then they don't concede a lot either. But they'll win by a big margin or a decent margin. Sorry, comfortably. But yeah, no one's really been able to stop them. I think second and third have games in hand, but still wouldn't be able to overtake them. But yeah, just keep churning it out
Yeah.
to start
Obviously,
really.
with the squad they've assembled, it's probably expected, but you can't really. Although it's expected, it's got to be done at the end of the day, and they've won 7 of the first 8 games. Like you say, they've been scoring for fun, so you can't really knock the start. The only loss coming against Shildon, I think it was, who obviously a really strong side, so
Yeah.
great start for them.
Right then, moving on, and it will we go to Blythe Town in second. Blythe Town again, another relegation side. Although I'm going to mention it, fourth in the Jack Lar form guide.
First time it's been mentioned this episode, the
Well,
return of the form
well,
guide.
because we can actually use it because teams have played more than 6 games, so it
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually have some
actually
good data
works.
to use,
Yeah,
yeah.
but but they had a big away win at Redcar Town, who started the season very well, who I predicted to go up, which is
It's,
looking very good so far.
I mean, they're only 3 points off though. They've got a game in hand
I know.
on Yarm in fifth, so it's definitely still very early doors. You
It
know what I
just
mean?
shows how stuff can quickly change. And what it was only a
Yeah.
fortnight ago we were recording this podcast, the
No,
first
yeah,
episode back in. Although we have said nothing has changed, but there's some teams that have jumped up and down
hmm
a little bit drastically. But yeah, they had a strong win against Penrith, but also they obviously Connor Lamb and Sean Reid both left Blue Star, and they ended up both at Blythe Town, which are both really good signings for this level, and just really confirmed for me how strong they will be, being able to pick up players of that caliber.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, Conor Lamb was at Heaton Stand last season, wasn't he? So he's obviously dropped down a division, and he'll be a very good sign for them. And since that sort of slip up against Blue Star, Blythe Town, like you say, they bounced back with 2 wins. So sitting in second place, not bad at all.
Yeah, and just another side that's just doing the job. Nothing major, no slip ups, just keep showing up. Bailey Adamson as well, scoring a bucket load.
Yeah, he scored those, hasn't
But and then third and table go for, I want to talk about Easington. A side that obviously came up 2 seasons ago, did really well, and then last season kind of just petered out, just outside the playoffs. But started this season really well. Were unbeaten for a long time, and their first loss only came was in their last game
he? Yeah, Newton Aycliffe, I
to
believe.
Newton Aycliffe, and we were having a bit of a pop out. Well, I was having a bit of pop out,
Yeah,
having a poor start to the season. They've already turned their season around. Not completely, but they definitely got on the right track, which we kind of spoke about after their first win versus Northallerton. But yeah, Easington, they had a big win away at Kendal, 4-1,
yeah,
which is always it's a tough place to go, Kendal, just for the distance. Although they're not having the start to the season they would have liked.
yeah. They're having a
Also,
poor start on them.
Yeah, Liam Adamson is a top goal scorer in the league with 7, but he did bag a hat trick in one game to boost his tallies up. But they're level with Blythe Town. They're doing really well, and only come against the first loss against Newton Aycliffe. But yeah, it's another really solid outfit
Yeah,
causing problems.
yeah, no, definitely. I think I said it last episode. They're just season on season. If they keep this up, they're just improving very steadily. Got an upwards trajectory. Just before that, Aycliffe lost. They'd won 4 on the bounce, and like you said, a big one against Kendall. I think they won a few others by a 3-goal margin as well. So
Mhm.
they're flying at the minute. To be fair, can't knock it.
And then we've already mentioned them a little bit, but Shildon,
Yeah.
I think they weren't they 10th when we did the.
Well,
I think
they'd won 2, lost 2, so it was just like a completely
just mixed
50-50
bag, wasn't
start,
it?
wasn't it? Yeah.
But yeah, then they've really turned it on. Kind of back where they they left off from last season. Probably a bit of dusting off the cobwebs. Obviously, we spoke about they've lost a bit, but the first in the Jack Lau form guide. So obviously they must be doing something right. But yeah,
Yeah.
another big one. They beat obviously not the league, but they beat West Auckland in the FA Cup. Bit of revenge from the playoff final last season,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
and
You'll
then
be loving
in the
that.
last well, I think in in the last game they beat Bentfield quite convincingly. Bentfield another one that teams are beating, always picking up wins against. They haven't had the start to the season. They were like they're lingering down the bottom, but they've had a lot of change there. Quite a lot of young players in and around the squad just getting blooded in really. But yeah, just shield them, just don't write them off really. So basically, Bishop Auckland look over your shoulder because I think your neighbours are on the charge.
Yeah, yeah. 16 goals in the last four games with four straight wins as well. So they're scoring for fun. So yeah, I think they'll definitely be staying around there as the games go on.
hmm And then another side I want to talk about is Yarm, who
Yeah,
sit
yeah.
fifth in the playoff spot. They're seventh in the form table, but I think they're winning the Vars as well. They're still in that, but they had two good wins really. Beat Carlisle in Carlisle, sorry, and a really convincing win against North Shield. So easily been able to mix it with teams above and obviously proved to be better than some of them, which is what they would have hoped for.
Yeah, and I think the top goal scorer the last few seasons, Tom Atkinson, I think he's on like four or something. So he's managed to keep his goal scoring up, which obviously is a bonus for them. And even though Red Curve dropped off slightly, both newly promoted sides like seems to be a common theme over the recent seasons have started well, both in the top half and obviously Yarm even better in the playoffs right now. So great starts for both newly promoted sides.
But what I think is the confidence that'll give them, like even like going to Carlisle, it's not if you've been there, it's not a good place to go
Really,
for
I've
away.
never been to be fair.
Just the travel. Like well, I went on a Tuesday night, it wasn't great.
Yeah.
But to go there and get a result and then to beat North Shields quite convincingly, we know how well North Shields did at the back end of last season.
hmm
So it's just the confidence that'll give that group and belief really to they can go and challenge anyone. And I think that is what these newly promoted sides are doing. They're going with the full of confidence, no fear between the playing and they're giving it a right good go. And long may it continue.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's what you like to see, isn't it? It's what you like to see. But
And they've
yeah,
already. Oh,
I was gonna say, are you touching on sort of like the bottom end of the table now, or is there any other
I was
sort
just going
of?
to make obviously Red Card Town my prediction to go up.
Yeah,
Come second, yeah. I don't know if I want to change it or not. No, I'll stick with them. I'll
yeah.
stick
No,
with them.
it's still too early. You could still be proved right, man. You don't want to doubt yourself
Yeah,
this early on.
they're only 3 points below Yarm. The cups are taken focus. They beat Bridlington Town in the FA Cup. See a league above in step four. They now face Blythe Spartans. Should be a really good tie for them. But I think yeah, it's just I think the cups are taking focus and maybe just taking their eye off the ball. Not
Yeah,
particularly in the league, but I think it's more of a case of the other teams that we expected have kind of got going and have got up there really.
yeah. And I think at this time of the season, you're playing like Saturday, Tuesday, or like Saturday,
Mm,
Wednesday, and
yeah,
then
got the
you can have
Vars
a
FA Cup.
Vars, you have Friday nights in there. Like there's a lot of fixtures to keep track of. So I imagine squads can be pretty thin at around this time of the year as well,
Yeah,
especially
just
with like
availability
holidays.
work
So
wise, yeah.
yeah, it's a bit of an awkward time of the season this part, I'd say.
Well, just more the bottom end. Well, actually, not bottom end, mid-table wise, really. Newton Aycliffe. I remember when they'd only won once. I
Yeah, they
think
were
that was
right
just the
down there,
previous
weren't they?
game. Yeah, they were really struggling, but since then they've really picked up. Although they're only 10th, but they're like I said, they're only 3 points out of the playoff spots. Unbeaten in the last four, but they obviously we spoke about it earlier, but they beat Easington, ended their unbeaten run, which would be a massive win for them. Really just another confidence boosting result. And then they got a good points against Horden as well. So after a tricky start to the season, they seem to have just gotten into gear and gotten a little bit of run, got on a little bit of run. Sorry.
Yeah, no, and like we mentioned last episode, it's looking like a strong Northern League. So especially with being like a newly relegated side, you need to be up and firing up there because you want to be going straight back up, I'd imagine. So Yeah, obviously a difficult start, but looks like they're getting back on track now, like you say.
Hmm. And then yeah, obviously you mentioned it, but yeah, I'm gonna have to speak about Whitley Bates.
Yeah, struggling a lot compared to this time last season, where I'm pretty sure they're still unbeaten.
Yeah, no, it's a really sad sight to see, but we know how weakened they got in the summer through transfers. I think that's quite well known. But they're bottom of the Jack Lyle form guide. Um, Unfortunately, but then they sit 19th in the table, a point above the drop. They've played I think you're right, they played Berkeley twice and lost them quite recently.
Yeah,
It's a bit weird.
was that 4-3 game? I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure. Oh, I might be getting a team wrong here.
probably they've definitely, but yeah, they definitely played them like they played them once and played another, then played them again.
Yeah, that's a bit of a strange one, like.
And but that's against Berkeley, another side I haven't mentioned, but they've kind of carried on from where they left off last season, and it's just good. Another side that just continually and gradually improving, and seem to have just carried on where they left off. But yeah, and another big one, Carlisle came to Hillheads and beat them 3-0 convincingly. So yeah, bit of a worrying time for the Bay. Just quickly need to sort it out, but doesn't look very well. It doesn't look like anytime soon that they will.
Yeah,
So
no, it's strange one. Like you say that they did lose a few players in the summer. That I think they lost a few. Well, they definitely lost a goalkeeper, Blythe Spartans, didn't they? But like,
yeah, Camden went
still,
to Heaton Stan.
yeah, yeah. And then I mean, at least they kept Mackenzie Sharp because he came straight back to Whitley Bay, didn't he, because of work commitments or something like that. So, yeah, Whitley Bay, they're a big sort of Northern League club. I'd imagine they still have a strong squad. It's just been a really poor start of the season for them. There's nothing really you can say. Only one win to kickstart the season's not great at all. So hopefully it can bounce back as soon as possible.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's probably not getting the bit of a rub of the green that they need, to be honest. But yeah, it's kind of all for Div One. As I said, not really, nothing big has changed apart from a couple of teams just getting back into form.
Yeah,
Whitley Bay were already kind of down there, anyway. But yeah, it's just like Shield and Newton Aycliffe. Obviously, Blue Star have won two. They've picked up a little bit, but still just mid-table. Uh, so yeah, but the season will start to probably shape up a little bit more in the next couple of weeks when we get further through the episodes. But yeah, nothing really big. It's just probably just the sad thing about Wickham. It's just
yeah, no,
dominating
it's
the
the
news,
main thing,
especially
isn't it?
yeah.
And
But yeah,
yeah,
I think
no.
that's all from Div One, mate.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll move to Division Two. A bit similar, really, in terms of like league positions. Nothing really drastic. There is still three sides who remain unbeaten in the league. I'll touch on the obviously the first one, top of the table, Bolden, who won 8 of 9 games. They've drawn the other one. So
Mhm.
really good start last night. Beating Prudhoe 4-1, which it was a sort of, I would say it was like a tight first half. It was pretty even. They showed a bit of quality second half and sort of just took the game away from Prudhoe, so fair play. And seems like the new additions that they've brought in the summer, a few from like divisions higher, one from I think Dunstan we touched on last episode, another Callum Larmouth who's like the captain from Whitley Bay, getting on the score sheet. I think they won the score sheet the last game as well. So they're proven very effective for them so far. And it, like you say, top of the league unbeaten, it's paying off for them.
And no, can't really ask for much more, can you? Just continuing to get the results, but yeah, Billingham following them very closely, both on level points.
Yeah, yeah, both literally
Both
exact same
exact same
record.
results as well. Yeah, exact same records. But yeah, Div Two turned into a right old battle, and we're only 9 games in. So, but yeah, just doing what they need to. Bolden
Yeah,
and Billingham, sorry.
yeah, the pair of them. It's been a very good start for the manager Bobby Coleman, he was at Ashwin and he was at Thornaby as well last season, early in the season, so he's got a lot of Northern League experience.
Yeah, good pedigree.
Um, Yeah, and Birmingham obviously a big club, they're quite a historic club in the Northern League. Prudhoe went there, I think it was last week, and you could sort of tell with like the fans they're having, just like the sort of traditional ground that they're just like a good, like well-run club, and it's been a really good start. I think it's sort of time for them to maybe have a bit of a playoff push because the last few seasons they've sort of just been like mid-table, just sort of a few like obviously decent results here and there, but never like a sustained push
Yeah,
for playoffs. So it looks like it could be that sort of time this season with obviously unbeaten in the first 9. So yeah, a lot of momentum at the minute. So we'll see how far that can take them. And then in third, who are unbeaten as well, Jarrow, a little bit less of a strong record. They've won six and drew four, but if you say you're unbeaten after 10 games, especially with such a hectic Northern League schedule, you definitely take it, wouldn't
Yeah, you take it. If you win it, yeah. As long as it's not like you've drew six and only won four. As long as you're winning more than you're drawing, it's absolutely fine. And they're where they need to be. They don't need to be first or second. As long as you're in about the playoffs and you're starting to gain a little bit of momentum, I don't think anyone will complain.
No, yeah, definitely. And they've been top three. Well, this will be the third season running that
Yeah,
they've been
they're
in and
always
around it.
there. They're
So
always there, aren't they? They never seem to move.
yeah, they're just always in and around there. So it looks like it's going to be a already. I mean, we're only 10 games in. You don't want to jump to conclusions, but looking like it's going to be
Yeah, red card.
a, de a decent title race already by the looks of it. But yeah, and fourth we've got Taolo, who sort of a week ago they had a bit of a setback. They had back-to-back defeats, but since then they've went to Essity Park twice and won both games against the University and Prudhoe. Obviously didn't see the uni game. The Prudhoe one was quite a tight one, to be fair.
Hmm.
They sort of just took it away from Prudhoe the last sort of 10 minutes, got two late goals. But yeah, they're just a strong side. Another one similar to Bolton, where they've made a lot of signings from divisions higher, which has obviously strengthened them a lot. If you look at last season, both Bolton and Towlow were in a relegation scrap. They're now top end of the table, so both strengthened a lot in the summer, and it's paying off for them.
Yeah, it's probably the way to go, isn't it? Buying from above, just giving you that experience and quality, really, because these both divisions are so tightly contested and they're mostly just goals, one goal apiece, really, in it. If you can have that little bit of quality, you probably get over the line. And both sides are reaping those rewards at the start, but probably just need to be a little bit better at home. Towler, they played four, won two, and lost two. So if they would want to mount a real big challenge, they probably just want to improve the home form a little bit because it can be a fortress because no one really wants to go there on a Saturday. So I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
yeah, no, it is pretty mental there, like, but yeah, I suppose you're right. You need that good home form if you're gonna be in and around that sort of top two. And like you say, that was it Dean Thexton who you recognised
Yeah, it was a Bishop. Yeah, it was a
last
Bishop.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on 7 goals, so he's just an example of one of the signings that's really benefited them. But I'd say a bit of an unexpected side in fifth with New Biggin. They obviously solidified themselves last season, but they're having a really good start the season. They dropped off a little bit around the time we done the last episode, but since then they've been unbeaten in the last three. The standout result was beating Chesterley Street Town 5-0 away from home, which is just a bit of a statement victory to be fair to them. So a very strong start for them.
Yeah, no, as you say, yeah, Chesley Street were a side that were in and around the playoffs for majority of, especially the second half of last season. Obviously, they haven't had the start they wanted, but yeah, that's an absolute statement. When New Bigham were very just steady uh, majority parts of last season. Obviously, saying they were newly promoted, but yeah, brilliant start for them. And yeah, as you say, no one would have really expected them to be that high, but very good for them. And hopefully, they can just keep it going.
Yeah, yeah. And one of them wins against Taulo, who right now are looking like a
Yeah,
direct rival. So very good
that's how
set of
low as
results.
well.
Yeah. And obviously just outside the playoffs, another team who were in the relegation scrap last season seems to be a bit of a theme. The teams that were
Mm.
down the bottom are the ones performing, but Burnham Synthonia, who are unbeaten in the last four, sitting in sixth position. They've won three of them 4 games, so got a bit of momentum and sort of like Burnham Town, two very big sort of Northern League clubs in Burnham there. So I suppose it's good to see both those sides in around the playoffs, two historic sides. So fair play to them. And then sort of just move towards the bottom of the table. Not a great deal's changed, like I mentioned. Got Stokesley sitting in 17th, one win in nine for them. They've had back-to-back draws in the last 2 games though, so maybe a little bit of momentum and belief could be taken from them, but not an ideal start.
No, it's not. It's not an ideal start, especially if when you're a newly promoted side and what you want to do is just get that first couple of wins under your belt and kind of just pull yourself away from the drop. But as you say, it seems like they're gaining a little bit of momentum with the two draws, and it kind of helps other sides around them haven't started too well either. So it kind of gives them a little bit of a grace period to kind of kickstart and get on with it. Although we are like nine games in, and teams are starting to establish and uh, be kind of figure out how they're going to play, and we're kind of seeing how the teams are lying, because it's not like there's only 3 or 4. When there's like when you play 10 games, you kind of know how teams are performing, unless there's like major transfers and shakes ups with managers. We can there's a picture starting to form, but I think they'll be okay at the minute. Obviously, worrying about where they are near the drop, but as we'll probably get onto in a minute, the other sides around them are probably just giving them a little bit of a helping hand.
Yeah, yeah, we'll touch on the team just below them, Grangetown. Be be the third season in a row they've sort of been in around the relegation running. I know it's obviously early doors, but only one win for them as well. Lost to Seaton, who have had a really strong start for a newly promoted side. They lost them the last game, so they'll be hoping to try and avoid another relegation scrap because I think they invested decently in the summer. If I remember, I've seen them making quite a few signings, so not a great start for them either. And then you've got Durham, who are yet to pick up a win. They drew 2 of the last 4, so it sort of looks like it could be coming for them. I imagine they'll have players coming back from uni
Yeah,
now, sort of getting ready to come
students.
back and strengthen the squad, you know?
Well, that's yeah. I was thinking that because I was also saw Taylor and the uni down there in 15th, but know how strong they were, especially
Yeah.
second half of the season. They took a few scalps, especially in the senior cup as well.
Yeah, they always seem to do decently in
Yeah.
the senior cup, yeah.
So we can, although I've just been larping on about, we can kind of see the picture of teams when we play more than 10 games. We'll probably give them another month when the students come back up to see, especially with the uni and Durham, because we know they are very student orientated. Well, in the uni, it's basically as it's the name, Leo. But
Yeah.
but yeah. Yeah, especially when Durham last season they kind of surprised a few people, kind of punched above their weight a little bit. They kind of just pulled themselves out there and weren't in any danger. So not well, obviously not the start they would have wanted.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it is just the theme with the players away and like not being back at uni because they sort of were around this time last season. Then they
Mhm.
picked it up a lot as it got into like September, October, scoring loads of goals. So yeah, I'd imagine there'd be a bit of a bounce or a boost from them soon. And then obviously bottom of the table, nothing really changed. No win for Prada, no point either. I think sort of I don't want to sound like a broken record, but since since the since the last episode, there has been positive performances that they have been unlucky, but at the end of the day, you got to get some
You
points
need to
on
be
the
getting
board
points on the board.
because
Yeah.
it's heading into the 10th game now. We need a bit of momentum to latch onto. I mean, if I if I'm being like sort of biased, it has been a tough set of fixtures. If you look who have played, like the likes of
Mhm.
Towerlaw, Billingham, Boulden, all sort of in the top 4, but hopefully sooner rather than later, get some points on the board. You know.
Yeah. Well, Chester Lee Street kind of looks like obviously tomorrow.
Yeah,
But
that's a
it's at
big
Chester.
game.
That yeah, it kind of seems like obviously winnable's kind of rich when you've not
Yeah.
when it's played 9 games, right? But like it's probably one of the ones you look at and think, oh, we can maybe get something from that. And maybe when you're saying if there's been positive performance, but I'm just thinking of the players in lads in that group and that change room, kind of what can you keep saying into them week in,
Yeah.
week out when they must be so just devoid of confidence and belief. But saying that, imagine if they could go there and get even a point, just like the belief and probably get some weight off the shoulders, really, and just massively kickstart the season.
Yeah, it needs something, and it's definitely not like a lack of effort. It's just I don't know. It's just not
Look.
it's not working right now. But I don't know. It's one of them. Hopefully it can change, like I say. But yeah, we'll see. There's that sort of rounds out the table. I'm just sort of looking at general news. You got Parkview, they put behind a winless streak they had going on. They beat Durham United last night, coming back from 2-0 down to win 3-2. See
Mhm.
Parkview last season and the season before were in around the playoffs, so they definitely need to get the slow start behind them. And then we're sort of touching it before. Chester Town struggling quite a bit, 3 defeats in a row for them. The biggest one, like I said, 5-0 against Newbiggin. So yeah, poor starts for both them sort of Chester Street sides, for being
Mhm.
being honest, you know.
Yeah, no.
But
Yeah.
that's sort of the general news. I've just sort of looking ahead at some
The
fixtures of the
fixtures, yeah.
weekend. Any big ones? There is top of table action sort of. You got Anik v Billingham. Anik
Yeah.
will obviously want to try and undo that unbeaten run of Billingham's creeping to the playoffs. You've got Bill and Synthonia, obviously mentioned just outside the playoffs there at home to Bolton. But I think the sort of the biggest one, you got a local Hartlepool derby, Seton Carew v FC Hartlepool.
Hmm.
Um, FC Hartlepool just coming off the back of a last minute winner against Alnwick. Callum Young, who's dual registered, get it right there, dual registered with Stockton. He scored a hat-trick against Prudhoe. It was like very, very good. 3 goals as well. So he looks like he's a real threat up top for them. And like I
Yeah.
say, got the winner against Alnwick 90th minute, so can't complain there.
I'm just looking through.
Yeah,
Obviously,
is any Division One, by the way? I was going to
like
say.
Easington, obviously Easington Wickham. I think that's just a big game for off the pitch reasons.
Hmm.
But I think on the Saturday, I think it's got to be Shildon versus Newton Aycliffe. Obviously, another little bit of a local derby. But yeah, both sides. Obviously, Shildon back to uh, where we know them and how we know them. Obviously, Newton Aycliffe as well, fresh off that win against Easington, so they'll be full of confidence and hopefully to go this. But I think that's definitely the pick of the game,
No,
pick of
yeah.
the week. Sorry. So it should be a really good game that uh, for both. Both needing it, both because pretty so like if Newton Aycliffe go there and beat Shildon or get a good result, that would just be massive for them. Again, to go if we beat these two sides who are right up in the league, that's where we need to be. But again, Shildon as well if they want to put pressure on Bishop Auckland to really mount charge on the title. But yeah, I think that'll be it really.
I think that's all for the episode of, like I say, a bit of a just a general overview of how the divisions stand. Not much changing, but
Yeah,
like I say, some big news off the pitch. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Bit of a quick tour of two other divisions there, wasn't it?
yeah, no, a little quick pit stop tour, but yeah, no, as you said, literally nothing has changed, and we thought maybe in these 2 weeks
Yeah,
a lot of
something would
things have changed.
drastically change.
We were kind of like we are kind of like fingers crossed, hoping that was some big stuff, but no, yeah, nothing really. So hopefully in the next 2 weeks, well, probably in the next 2 weeks, could be back in the studio.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully Jack
Try and get
Lyle's
the
here.
studio book. Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's been a while now. It's back-to-back
yeah,
episodes he's
yeah.
missed.
Come on, Jack, man.
Yeah, it needs to lock in. So hopefully we're back in the studio, get some of that old studio going because it is better in there, if we're being honest. The Zoom's all
Hmm.
right, but the studio's where
Yeah.
it's at, innit?
Yeah, no, it is. Although we get used to the technologies and I can read statements out really well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, yeah, no. Very looking forward to getting back in the studio and just talking to you over a laptop.
Yeah, well, that's all from us, guys. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you later.
Yeah, see you later, guys.